Hi, I'm David Bell. Welcome to episode 5 of 6 on how worship leaders can engage young people in creative worship. Let's cut to the chase. Here's a story for very little children, maybe aged 2 or 3. It lasts just a couple of minutes. Afterwards, a quick tutorial on how to use some of the resources if you're registered on our website, kiwiconnexion.nz.
The Many Mysteries of Bonnie the Cat. Bonnie the cat washed and stretched and slept. She never seemed to do much at all until she disappeared up the path and around the bend for hours on end. Max wanted to know, where did Bonnie go? He tried to follow, but was always just a little bit too slow. Max thought he heard the cicadas call for Bonnie to play ball. But when he leapt over the fence to inspect, there was nothing there but a tatty old net. He thought he spied Bonnie playing cards in the yard with the mice, and why not? For they always seemed so nice. But when he crawled into a nook for a closer look, he was too late. Only the 8 of spades remained. Down at the beach, Max thought, that's Bonnie in her togs swimming with the dogs. But on closer inspection of that section of sea, there was nothing there but some soggy old logs. One moonlit night, Max heard music wafting to his room and thought, this is it. Bonnie's having drinks with the skinks. With a yawn he went down to the lawn, but there was only the echo of a single gecko's call. And so it was. Max never found out where Bonnie went, but she always came back content. And best of all, always playful, until she washed and stretched and slept once more.
That's perfect to project in church or Sunday school or just at home. Children love the experience of being read to. Alternatively, why don't you, as worship leader, read the storybook? We have a full colour version you can download and project, and little kids will listen, maybe more attentively than watching a Disney cartoon, replete with all the latest animations. Why is that? Simplicity wins every time. Being read to is one of the most powerful ways of unlocking a child's imagination. But it's got to be pitched at the right level. We don't go to church to be told moral applications by worship leaders or preachers, whether they're quoting from the Bible or any other sacred literature. We go to have our hearts and minds awakened to the creative impulse of God. She loves to tell a good story, tall tales and true. How could it be any other way? Read to the very little children. Use technology to advantage. And when you read well, the parents and grandparents in a congregation will sit up and take notice too, because it reminds them of themselves. Other resource creators for kids in kiwiconnexion.nz include Stuart Mannins, Elizabeth Mansell, Rosalie Segru and Dorothy Willis. Each of them knows how to tell stories that engage different ages and stages. Let's just, in brief, get an overview. First, there's the huge resource Stuart Mannins has made available to us. He's an internationally recognised early childhood music specialist. You can have, for free, the audio-visual ebooks of the So Me Music Stories for Juniors. Along with it are teacher notes and the option for you to interact in our forums with Stuart. Similarly, Elizabeth Mansell is updating the Kelvin McKemmerer stories for a somewhat older age group. We've the earlier resources available in the meantime. Rosalie Segrew's made available a free PDF of her play, The Wesley Day Family Saga, and the full collection can be purchased from PGPL, Philip Garside Publishing Limited. Also, check out Rosalie's puzzles. Dorothy and Ernest Willis have their kids packs for download from Creative Spaces in kiwiconnexion.nz. There's also an open badging system for every age groups, adults to the little ones. Do try it, and there's more. All these resources can be used in Sunday worship, but everything will fall flat on its face. The worship will be boring and unappealing unless leaders prepare and rehearse the material. Now, by the way, the stories may seem more secular than overtly religious. That doesn't really matter because each one has a spiritual warmth which invites children and young people to explore. And then for the older teens and early tertiary studies students, consider incorporating YouTube videos listed in Creative Spaces into your Sunday event. Halvard Lund's beautiful singing, playing, the ever-inventive jazz musician Dave Helleb, the movie trailers on cinemaaddicts.co.nz. The list goes on. And there's the AVE resource of Adam and Eve and Evolution for those starting out at tertiary level. From this age group down to middle primary school, get them involved, actually making resources to distribute for themselves and for others. Please don't hesitate to give a like, share or comment on videos or any other resources. All our content creators will thank you for doing it. Here's the key point for worship leaders this week. You've a guide, and it's a good guide, to some of the creative talent in churches around New Zealand and beyond, curated on our website. Subscribe now to our YouTube channel and then check out the links below in the About tab of this video to explore what we really do. You might be rather surprised. There's more than you might expect. See you again next week. Same time, same channel, and thanks for watching.